What's going on, you guys? So we are back again for another movie corner for spooky season. Let me tell you something. I really want to get different theme songs. The thing is, I don't know how to do it myself. Because that would have been so clutch for different seasons, different type of movies, or different, Woo. Okay. Anyway. That's what I was just thinking about. I gotta get somebody that know how to do some stuff for a little cheap. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got a lot of money. Well, I can see what you can do. But anyway, we are back for another movie corner, and we are still in the month of October, and I'm trying to give y'all as many as I can, because I actually do love this month because it is horror movies. Horror movies. What is this? Viewing mattress on the phone doing circle workout. Anyway, horror movie seasons, right? Last week or a few days ago, I gave you guys Freddy vs. Jason. After this will be Halloween, the 2018 version. I'm going to do Halloween 2018, 2021, and 2022 all together, okay? Because if you watch those, the first two literally is just the pickup of they're the same. They're happening in the same day. But we'll get into that in the next one. But let's get into this movie, Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship is one of those movies. First of all, when did it come out? It came out like in girl, let me look that up. I thought I had the date. Ghost Ship. It came out in 2020. Nope, 2002. Okay. And it was one of those movies, like, I was just randomly, because I did not know that they had it back on Prime Video. So if you have Prime Video or AMC Plus or whatever, it's on there. I don't know if they put it back on Tubi, but it hasn't been on there for a minute. But that was one of the movies that I actually just watched, just to watch, and it's actually kind of good to me. Silly, but good at the same time, because I remember when I first watched it, the twist that happened, I really was not expecting it. For real. And what I love about a good movie, no matter if it's horror, drama, comedy, romantic, or whatever, it has to have a nice twist to it, okay, that I did not see coming. So I didn't see this coming, should have, but I saw it when I was a kid the first time. So it is what it is. 2002? Yeah, 2002. I was still a child. Girl, I wasn't even in high school yet, or was I? I was just in high school. But anyway, so we get into the movie, and it's basically about this ship that has been, on the sea, okay? And it's shipwrecked, and you got this salvaging crew that gets commissioned to go check it out. And, money talks. Money talks, okay? And so, therefore, that money talked. And they went on ahead and they got up on that boat and they tried to figure out what was going on, and all hell broke loose, okay? It's one of those situations where just because somebody is offering you so much money or whatever, or you want to get your hand on something that is mysterious or whatever, don't mean that you should take it, okay? That whole situation of not all money is good money or not all things is good things, yeah, judge it a little bit more, okay? Because at one point, one of the people on there, they wanted to go home so that they could see their girl, okay? Because they was about to get married in like a few weeks, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and he should have just went on ahead and did that. Mind you, this movie has Isaiah Washington and Juliana Margulies in this movie, right? Now, Juliana Margulies, I'm pretty sure she said some let me see. I have to look it up, because it's just now coming to me. Juliana Well, girl, how you spell that? Margulies. There it is. Controversy. She had to apologize because in 2023, she made some comments on a podcast regarding what's going on now with Hamas and Israel, talking about the perceived lack of support for Jewish people from black people and the LGBT community. Girl, they told her ass up. And she had to come back and say, I'm so mortified by all of this. I'm mortified by the statements that I made and everything. No, you're not, because you meant them. But anyway, and then we already know Isaiah. See, the movie is already plagued. Okay, the movie is already plagued with bullshit because Isaiah Washington, he's a MAGA, homophobe, all of that, self-hating black. That's just what he is, okay? So you got that going on. And that was a twist that I didn't see coming. Like, we knew of his little controversy. If you did not know, that's why he got booted off of Grey's Anatomy, because he was being homophobic to T.R. Knight on there, who played George, you know, and yeah, I should have known right then and there that it was going to be some more stuff. Couldn't just keep it at that. You had to go ahead and go this uber conservative route for this man that's in office. That is crazy. But anyway, yeah, them were the two cast members that really stood out to me. But as we get into the movie, right, the movie actually starts off back in 1962, okay? It is this Italian ocean liner called the MS Antonia Grazia, you know, Grazia. Oh, bitch, did I say that right? Somebody Italian finna be like, no, bitch. Okay, girl. I tried to roll my R's a little bit, tried to make it sound a little Italianist, but, you know, it is what it is. No offense. All right. So they out there, you know, on the ship. And it's like a little cruise ship. It's giving very much Titanic, okay? But it's in 1962. And actually, I think it was like in May 1962, but that's neither here nor there. So they, I think they was coming over from London to New York or whatever. Either freaking way, they on the water, okay? Everybody's having a good time. Everybody is good. We see this little girl that's on there, right? This little girl named Katie, she just, oh, I'm so happy. She's going to see her parents. Because her parents, I think, are out there in New York. That's where they at. And so, you know, she on the ship practically by herself, but she cool with like the captain and other people that's up there that's probably looking after her and all that. And it seemed like I couldn't tell if she was the only child on there, but from the moment it looked like she was the only child that was on there at that time. I could be wrong, but that's all the children that we saw, because for some reason, you know, they fixated on her. Okay, so we see everybody having fun, you know, co-mingling with everybody. They get on the dance floor. She dancing with the captain and everything. And we have the singer that's on the stage. Her name is Francisca. Okay, Francisca. You know, she's up there doing her little thing or whatever. Next thing you know, we see this wire that's holding up all the lamps and stuff or whatever. And let me tell you something, ever since I seen this movie and I seen this particular part, if I see a wire like that, I get nervous, because it just makes you feel like, what if that bitch popped? Because them wires are thick and they're deadly. And the way that it got tightly wound to the point where it popped and sliced through all of them people that was on that dance floor, right? And I mean, it sliced through all of them. It went so fast that everybody was just stuck for a second, because they didn't even realize what was going on. And then all of a sudden, everything kicked in and they noticed like, oh, bitch, I'm about to die because half my body about to fall on the floor. And that's all that was happening. It was so graphic, child. We seen insides all on the floor. Y'all wonder, did y'all look at Ed Gein on Netflix? Oh, anyway, we'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, girl, all of that body parts on the floor, bitch. When the one that got me was when Katie looked up at the captain when she was dancing with him, and he was just standing there like this, and all of a sudden his face, like this part on, just fell off. He didn't even get decapitated through the neck. He got decapitated right here. And that just slid on off, right? Mind you, Francesca, she just standing up there like, And I was like, girl, what's going on? You got something to do with this? Sure. Okay. And then at this point, I'm thinking everybody dead, you know, and Katie the only one that was surviving, and so ain't nobody that a man the ship or whatever. So, you know, I'm just thinking like she the only person that survived and everything. And, you know, because she ain't know how to drive the ship, she died on the ship too, because bitch, she a child, you know. So we fast forward like 40 years later, and then we get the salvage crew. You got Murphy Epps, who was played by Juliana Margulies, Greer, who was played by Isaiah Washington, Dodge, and Munder, right? And they also got this dude Santos, right? Okay, cool. So they out there doing their thing or whatever. They get back, they go to this bar, and this other man, his name is Jack Ferryman, okay? Jack Ferryman. I had the subtitles on this time, and I was like, why is that? That is so. You are randomly coming to this bar where you see that a lot of salvage crews and people that be on the water, whatever, frequent. And you just so happen to be flying over the ocean and you see this ocean liner and it's just a mystery. You don't know what it is, who it is, or whatever. And you seen it one time, you was like, maybe I was fooling myself. Then you go back out, you see it again. So you like, oh, okay, so it's just floating out there. It ain't moving or whatever. Let me go in here and get one of these crews and try to get them to come out there to pull it to the shore. And we can get some money off of it because it's in international waters. And they was like, if you find like anything in international waters, you get to take the profit for it. You know what I'm saying? Split amongst your crews and all that stuff, whatever. Okay, cool. So his name is Jack Ferryman. A ferry, man, ferry, water, boat, all of that stuff. I was like, oh, I'm just not putting two together. Okay. So he go over there talking and all that stuff, and at first, they weren't interested. And like I said, Greer, he really didn't want to do it because he was on his way back home. He was about to go back home. They literally just came off the water. He has a wedding to attend in like a month. But eventually, they wind up getting convinced to go out there. They go out there on the water. Let me tell you something. It's going to take more than some stranger coming up to me. This is where they messed up. You got a stranger coming up to you with no credentials at all. And I'm like, so what are y'all, like pirates or whatever? Y'all just take whatever you want because you just don't follow the rules? Because why would you just go ahead and take this man? Like, y'all don't look into people. Granted, it's 2002. I'm pretty sure it's still with some ways that you can look into people, whatever, give a call and all this stuff, but no, you see an opportunity to get a wreck and then get some money. So, hey, let's go undercover and let's go ahead and do what we got to do. In and out, right? No. Okay. So they get on the boat. Jack, he wants to go with them because he also wants a percentage. Whatever they find, he wants 20% of it. And they was like, okay, cool. But then, he was like, I'm going to come with y'all. They said, absolutely not. He said, what you think this is? Man, you really think that I'm finna just let y'all go and find this whole, shipwreck thing, and then I'm supposed to trust that y'all gonna do what you say by be by your word, be true to your word, and split that, give me that 20% once you, no, I need to be there too. And I said, yeah, he was smart for that because I would have said the same thing, okay? They're dumb because you're doing this with a stranger that you literally just met 2 seconds ago, okay? So they get out there, and at first, they don't see nothing on the water. They trying to find and see. They don't see nothing. But Santos all of a sudden sees something on the radar, on the sonar and shit, And so he calls up Murph because he is the captain, right? And then like the second in charge probably was like Epps. Murph and Epps' relationship is like father and daughter, okay? Even though they're not, but it's just like that. So Murph comes up there trying to see what it was. He don't see anything. And Santos is seeing things, but Murph don't see anything. And so all of a sudden, they look forward and they're about to crash into the goddamn boat, okay? The ship is right there in front of them, and you got Dodge out there trying to do something. He almost got drowned, okay? He done flipped off the boat. It just so happened to be this like tire or whatever that they had in front that bounced them off of it without them actually destroying their boat, okay? So then they went on ahead and they anchored down and they go into the boat, right? This big ass ship. It's an ocean liner, right? And Murph he looking around, and because he's a ship head, so he knows exactly what the ship is. He's coming to find out that this is a ship that has been missing so long. Okay. Some people, I think they said at one point they saw it floating, but nobody was on the ship. And so they've been trying to find where the ship was, and they finally find it or whatever. Okay, so you go into this ship, and then you just see that it was a lot of rust, a lot of wear and tear, because it's been 40 years. It's been 40 years. It's been just floating around and all of that. And you just start seeing things happening, right? So, mind you, they're on the Bering Strait. They say it's a whole bunch of stuff that be happening on the Bering Strait. They out there trying to pull that thing in, and shit just go haywire. Munder, he almost died instantly because he just stepped on the wood and went through the damn floor. It was just so happened that Epps was there and she grabbed him before he could fall through the floor. For real, for real. They pulled him up, and while they was pulling him up, she winds up seeing Katie, the little girl. It was like, wait a minute, why she still look like the little girl? Because she was still a little girl on the ship, so she didn't get to grow up. She didn't escape or anything like that. She didn't get rescued. So, yeah, she died on the ship, too, because she was the only lone survivor, right? So we think, okay? That's how they made us think, right? And it was just a whole bunch of supernatural stuff that was going on. At one point, they going around seeing pictures, seeing the furnitures. We see Greer, he notices a flyer, whatever, for, the stand that says, come see Francisca, singing all that stuff, whatever. At one point, Fairman and Epps wound up kicking it with each other. They found this compartment that's like the loading where all the cargo would be at. Found this old badass car. He's so focused on the car, she trying to get the hell up out of there. And they found this door, and it's a whole bunch of cases of goddamn gold in there. And I mean them gold bars, okay? Now, with inflation, that's a lot of goddamn money. They are about to be multimillionaires, okay? Everybody's about to split the money and all of that stuff or whatever. So that's that. And they got to fix the ship because at one point, they was about to get up off that ship, and they was about to tow the ship. They was about to tow the ship with their towboat, right? And because they realized, I guess, that the ship got some spirits going on, and they was like, girl, you're not finna go, blew up the goddamn towboat. Santos' ass wound up getting killed. Isaiah Washington's character Greer almost died too, but he didn't. So now they're stuck on this big ass ship that they don't know shit about, right? And so as they're going along, we see Katie again. She talking to Epps. She go up into her old cabin room, and it's decked out like it used to be, okay? And she was just trying to tell her, I was over here trying to go meet my mom and my daddy up in New York, but they don't want me to say nothing. He don't want me to say nothing. Oh my God. Ah! And I was like, who? Even Epps said who, and Epps turned around and the bitch was gone, okay? And Epps is having all of these hallucinations too, like they go down to the pool and it's a whole bunch of bullets in the pool, like it's bullet holes in the pool and everything. And she's like, where's all these bullet holes coming from, right? And it's like, all of a sudden it's blood coming out the bullet holes, and it's like, oh my God, what's going on? Something obviously happened. And it's clear that some other people have been there, because once they got on the boat too, Dodge, she wound up finding a digital watch, okay? And then eventually Epps opened up a door, and it was a whole bunch of, it was like at least 2 dead bodies that came out of there, like fresh dead bodies. And when I mean fresh, they wasn't decomposed yet, okay? They were still intact. So it couldn't have been no dead body from like 1962 when the boat actually just, went set sail. This 40 years later, that means somebody else had already came onto the boat, tried to, fix it up and pull it in and get some money off of it. My skin looks so fucking good right about now. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we're doing this, and I'm just like, okay, so what's really good? At one point, while they were stuck on that boat, Munder and Dodge. Now let me tell you something. First of all, this will never be me, okay? And I'm pretty sure it will never be a lot of y'all that's watching who like adventure. Bitch, if I want adventure, take me to an adventure park, okay? That's the closest to adventure we gonna get. You got people like them people that's out there on stuck on Mount Everest. Right about now, they said over 1,000 people is stuck on Mount Everest, and it is a blizzard. One of them already died, okay? Now, I know, is it people that live out there? But it's other people that literally just came out there for the hell of it. I, for the life of me, will never understand, what do you get out of climbing a mountain that can cause your death? What? And it be dead bodies up there because they just couldn't take it, or, they buy, yeah, like what? Absolutely not. That was a goddamn blizzard. It's a blizzard and y'all stuck up in that blizzard. What? And let's not talk about the elevation doing numbers to your body and your lungs and stuff. Girl, put on top of that the cold. No, ain't nobody got time for that. We're going to be on solid ground. Okay? We got enough danger that goes down on here. We ain't got to add to it. And so y'all up here playing around on a dirty ass ship that you ain't never seen. And then now you're stuck on the bitch because your ship is messed up, and now you trying to drain this ship because it's leaking, and you trying to get it so that you can pull it at least so it can drift to a shore somewhere. Mind you, you're in the middle of the Bering Strait. There is no shore right now. Okay, the boat keeps going out further and further and further. And at this point, everybody's just trying to make do with what's doing. Murph, he's feeling guilty about the fact that Santos is dead. So he goes over there. And I don't know if he was an alcoholic at one point because they did see some alcohol that was on the ship. And he kind of avoided it, right? But then he went back to the captain's quarters and, he picked up that bottle and he picked up that glass and it was a fresh, clean glass. I said, now that don't seem suspicious to you? That don't seem suspicious to you? This old ass, raggedy ass, rusty ass, decrepit ass boat, ship, cruise liner, whatever you want to call it, and got a clean ass wine glass up in this bitch, scotch glass up in this bitch, and some fresh liquor. And you gonna sit down and you gonna drink it with the ghost that pops up? It was the ship captain, right, from 1962. He winds up showing him and telling him all about the ship or whatever, and telling him about how everything was going cool. Everything was going cool. And then it was like the people got poisoned or some shit. They got to a little wreck, whatever, and it was only one survivor or some shit like that. And they took a picture of him. He took the picture and showed it to him. And Murph said, I know you gotta be goddamn playing. I said, no, who in the picture? Murph was going over there trying to find Epps and everybody else, right? And at this point, when he was trying to find Epps, he wound up having a hallucination of, Santos trying to comfort him or whatever and blame him for everything that was going on. Mind you, this is a burnt up ass Santos because he got burnt up in the tugboat fire, right? It exploded. And so it's his spirit coming back to him, haunting him and all that stuff because he like, damn it, bitch, now I'm stuck on this boat too. And I said, now, hold on, what do you mean by that? So now you got Murph with a little bit of alcohol in his system, a little spirit in his system too, having hallucination. He sees Epps trying to talk to him, and he up there trying to attack her. Mental toll. Girl, please stop sending me this. That was my mom. I'm sorry. He up there trying to attack her because he thinks that it's Santos that was trying to attack him. So he's hallucinating. They wind up, knocking him out and putting him in this like little container, this little pipe thing or whatever, like a water tank, but it was empty, and then they closed it up. But I'm like, damn, y'all could have just knocked his ass out and set him on the outside. Why you had to put him in that tube like that? I was not comfortable like that with that. Then later, Epps go out, and again, she runs into Katie. Katie winds up revealing everything. But prior to that, we see Greer up there going out, and he's in his feelings. Them damn sirens. I be trying lately, I'm just trying like, I don't want it to be so pronounced. So, I'll stop the video if it's way too loud and a little bit too long. I don't want y'all to hear that. That's very distracting. But thank y'all for be holding in and hanging on when I be, because y'all know. But anyway, Greer, he in his feelings because he realized they're going to be stuck on this ship a little bit longer than they need to. Because at first they was going to be stuck on there for like 2 weeks trying to get it together so that they can tow it back to the boat, to the thing with their boat. But they can't do that because they ain't got no tugboat now, right? So he up there drinking himself silly to the point where he's also started to hallucinate. Remember I brought up Francisca? He saw her name, right? And so he's in the ballroom where she was, and all of a sudden the ballroom started transforming because he started hearing his name. He started hearing music, her voice or whatever. And so he's getting hypnotized by her voice, okay? It's this lovely, sweet sound, right? And so all of a sudden the ballroom comes alive. You know, it's back in 1962. You got all these men just applauding him and all of this stuff. Francisca is up on the goddamn stage. She comes down. They start dancing. And at one point, I'm sitting here like, please don't be a nigga. And he wound up being a nigga. And what I mean by that, a man. Okay? Baby, you have a fiance at home waiting for you. And you're supposed to be getting married in a few weeks, right? Right? You gonna say, well, I guess it ain't cheating if, it's a dead bitch, because I know this ain't real. I said, excuse me? So you willingly finna sleep with a dead bitch, right? I said, oh my God, Greg, come on, snap the fuck up out of it. But bitch, she was calling him. It was like she was a siren, okay? Girl, she went and she was walking. Mind you, she had on her red dress. And her high heels. I said, don't be fooled bad. Don't be fooled bad, bitch. Come on, Grill, stop it. Girl, he followed her. He followed her, and as she's walking, girl, she's undressing. He sees her titties. He was like, nipples. And I was like, I've seen better. And next thing you know, she bucket ass naked, and he over there trying to grab her to get some. And when he grabbed her, bitch, she went back to ghost form, and he fell right through into the elevator shaft where she was standing in front of, and dead. So who all gone? Santos gone, Greer gone, and now we got Munder and Dodge over there. They eating fucking food. They found some canned food on that, right? Granted, I understand y'all got to be on there for a minute or whatever, but the boat has been floating around for 40 plus years. 40 goddamn years. And you are going to open up a can of beans and some other shit, and you're going to eat it. Now, Munda tasted them beans. He was a little hot, a little cautious with it, but he was like, it's all right. Munda said, cool. Dodge was like, oh, okay, this is cool too. And they tasted something else. They was like, this is actually pretty good. I said, you know what? You can't trust certain people's taste buds because they know we in here. Bitch, all of a sudden, they was eating. And next thing you know, Munda looked at Dodge and was like, it's something on your lip or whatever. And he looked, bitch, it was a goddamn maggot on his lip. And I said, see, I knew it. That can of bean and all them foods that they was eating, bitch, it turned into a can of goddamn maggots, and they was all up in their mouth. Kill me, okay? I'm sorry. I would have just threw myself over. And took my chance with the sharks, okay? Took my chances with the sharks and tried to swim ashore. Because what do you mean you're sitting there and you're eating cans of food that you never seen before and has been on this goddamn boat for 40 plus years, and you literally eating maggots? Because you're just so fucked up in the head at this point because this boat is doing tricks and stunts to your minds. I said, no, we're not going to do that. Then we got Ep over here. She meeting up with Katie again. Katie said, hold on, girl, let me tell you exactly what happened because, listen, we stuck on this boat. And I said, what you mean, girl? Let me know. She was like, bitch, shut the fuck up and let me tell you. And better yet, I could show you better than I could tell you, right? See, the big man, he needs his quota. And until his quota is filled, we stuck on this bitch, okay? And until then, we can move after that. And I was like, what quota we talking about, girl? Let us know. She said, hush, I'm about to show you. I said, oh, go ahead. And so, she was like, look, it goes back to 1962 on that specific day. Everybody kicking it, everybody having fun on the dance floor, whatever. But we also see on another part, it's another group of people, right? They're eating their food, but then they're having stomach issues. They're throwing up. They're doing all of that because the food is poison. The staff is poisoning the food, okay? They're going around poisoning the food and all that stuff. Then the people that was on the dance floor get cut up with the wire, okay? They're gone. Other people are getting shot at the pool because remember we was at the pool and there was a whole bunch of bullets in the pool. Put them in that pool and shot them. Boom, boom, boom. And they fell into the water. Okay, that's just what happened, right? I said, "Oh my God, what is going on? What is this is demonic. What is happening? Why are these people doing this?" Okay, the staff like, Well, what are we gaining from this? Next thing you know, we do see little Katie. You see the kid people trying to run and get away, whatever. The staff or whatever, they just crew people, they just slicing people and dicing people and everything. And they doing it also delicate. They got the old fashioned razor and they just like just really light. I said them razor blades was sharp as shit. Y'all sharpen the fuck out of that because you ain't barely pressed the skin and you was taking people out. But the worst part about it, besides everybody getting killed, little Katie got killed too. And I want to know exactly what, they ain't going to detail exactly what they did to her because they wound up, it was two crewmen and they was dragging her down the hall, right? And one had a blade in his hand. They wound up taking her into the room, right? And they closed the door. But we did see a flash of her body hanging. And it was her skeleton hanging. But my thing of it is, why was it two of y'all? Why did y'all need to take her into that room and close the door? What was y'all doing? Exactly. And then you hung her? Like, what? That was just too much. That was too much. And I don't want to take my mind there, but it felt like a whole bunch of shit was going on in that room, and then they killed her afterwards. That's what it was giving, okay? And I said, that's disgust. That is disgusting, you know? And that's crazy that you would do some shit like this. And I said, what is the reason? What is the reason y'all put all these people on this boat just to kill them? What's going on? Next thing you know, we see the crew people, they going down there to the cargo luggage, the cargo thing, whatever. They see the car and all this shit. They open up that door. And remember I said it had the gold in there that we saw earlier? Oh, yeah, they was like, yeah, all the gold and all this stuff. Francesca, she bring her ass out there, right? And it was this dude who was the ringleader. He looked at her and was like, hey, baby. She was like, hey, baby. And I was like, you was fucking around with him? His teeth is nasty. He looked way too below you. What's going on, Francesca? I said, you are playing him, ain't you? You gotta be, because I just can't see it, girlfriend. Bitch, all of a sudden, he turned around and he lit up everybody that was up in that room. I said, wait a minute, not the crew people that was helping you. They thinking they finna get a part of the cut just by doing all this. They got blood on their hands and now you finna take all of them out. Y'all took out the people on the boat and you took out the crew people. What? Girl, he turned around thinking that him and Francesca finna roll out in the sunset with all that goddamn money, and she took a boom to his forehead. I said, damn, Francesca, now what you doing? So you put this plan together? Baby, come to find out, she is doing this behind a what? A man. And not just a man, a spirit. And not just a spirit, a goddamn demon, bitch. Okay, from hell. All right, and his name is what? Jack Ferryman. Okay, that motherfucker came up out the shadows in his nicely pressed tux, kissed her and all that stuff. She thinking like, yeah, we about to get all this stuff. Daddy, I did all of this for you. I set this all up for you, bitch. And he walked back. Next thing you know, it was a hook that was up there. That hook released and hooked her in the throat. Right under the chin right here, and it was just hanging. And she looked like, what? And then he wound up like marking her with this like anchor on his like on her hand, like branding her. And I said, what the fuck? So basically, the people that are marked, they gotta go. And he's collecting souls. That's what it is. So it's like, if you're going to hell and all that stuff, and you're collecting souls and all that, I don't know, he gotta meet a quota of souls that he needs to collect, and the quota hasn't been met yet, and so that's why he needs that boat to be moved a little bit because it's sinking. He needed them to come and fix it because they're a savage crew. They're a savage boat crew, you know what I'm saying, fixing boats and all that stuff. So he needed them to come onto this boat, fix it so that it can still stay afloat until he meets his quota. Okay. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Now, see, that was a plot twist I didn't really see coming, you know, but I kind of should have, because once they found the gold in the modern day, the present day on the movie, he just kept on laughing. And it was a maniacal ass laugh. And I said, bitch, you sound a little crazy. What's going on with you? Okay. And then at this point, after they put Murph, remember he was up in that little tub, that little tube or whatever. Girl, why the water started filling up? By the time Epps get down there to tell them what was going on, because she trying to find Murph and was like, listen, Murph, he ain't who he say he is, bitch. Murph already knew, because that's what the picture that the captain had gave him in his hallucination. He found it in the office, and it was a picture of, Jack actually laying there looking like he was a lone survivor, what I'm saying, which he really wasn't. He did all of this shit. All right. And so Epps, Murph is dead now because the water, they didn't flooded out the thing. He up in there just floating dead. I said, this don't make no sense, bitch. Okay, Jack didn't kill him. Now she done went over there to Dodge and trying to tell him, listen, Jack ain't who the fuck he say he is. Keep away from him. Bitch, here come Jack. She trying to talk in codes with Dodge, like, just keep him in your sight. Okay, I'm finna go find Munda. Munda is in the water, that because this part of the ship is already filled with water. So he done dive down there trying to connect the tubes and stuff to drain that bitch. And he winds up getting caught up in the machine and basically just crushed the fuck to death down there. I said, God damn it. She done left Jack alone with Dodge, and he done fucked Dodge up after, coming for his throat and basically trying to say he less of a man and the way that you be letting this bitch talk to you or whatever. And I said, no, hold on. We ain't got to do all of this. You ain't got to attack my manhood just to kill me. Like, you gonna kill me, just go ahead and do all that shit. Why he had to do all of that? And so he winds up, he's like a shapeshifter, because he wind up being up in Dodge body. He didn't kill Dodge, but he changed into Dodge. And Epps realized that this was not Dodge when they was talking when she came back, because she went to go see what was going on with Munda, and she saw that it was blood in the water, whatever. And I think she saw his face and all that stuff in the water and that he was dead. So she coming back to get Dodge and tell him what's going on. But Dodge never asked about Munda. And so that was a key, like, oh, why you ain't asking where he at or whatever? Because Munda and Dodge is like this. You know what I'm saying? You don't see one without the other in this movie. And so now she like, because, bitch, this ain't you. Bitch, he winds up getting into it because he goes back into his regular form of Jack Ferryman. And they wind up getting into it. She wind up blowing up the ship, bitch, and blowing him up too. And then this blowing up the ship winds up releasing all of these souls that have been stuck on that boat for over 40 years. So now they're free to roam and go to the afterlife where they needed to be. Their souls are now stuck in this vessel, right? And so at this point, she is blown a little bit into the water. And it's some, debris that's out there that she winds up floating on, right? Imagine being stuck in the middle of the goddamn ocean and you don't even know if you're ever going to leave. She just land on that bitch, okay, just floating. And just so happened in the morning, it was a cruise ship that was coming through. So they wind up fishing her out the water. They trying to get her together. They get her on land. Paramedics get her. She up in the truck and all of that stuff, whatever, right? Thinking everything's cool. She's the lone survivor. Bitch, all of a sudden, she see the crew for the cruise coming, and they're taking some luggage, some cargo onto the truck, onto the cruise, right? Onto the boat. And what is it that we see? It's the same cargo that the gold bars was in. It's at least 5 of them or some shit. And it's 2 people per case. And she like, ain't this about a bitch? Them bitches look familiar. What the fuck is going on? What was happening? And next thing you know, we see Jack. I said, girl, he a spirit. The bitch shapeshifting to another person. Okay? He's been around for a long time. And he's not going to die. You might have gotten away with this, but he's not going to die. Okay? He still has a quota to meet. And so it's basically like he was collecting souls for the devil. Listen. And that's how the movie ended. It was cute. It wasn't too much. It was cute. I just really liked it for that opening, for real. But in that twist that it was Jack, that was doing this whole thing. Man, y'all got to be careful. First of all, if it looks suspicious, walk the fuck away. All money ain't good money, baby. Okay? Don't be letting no stranger come up to you saying something. Can I help you with this? And can you help? No, I don't know you. You just came out of nowhere. Absolutely not. Okay? But yeah, you guys, nothing too deep, nothing too serious. A little movie that I actually enjoy a little bit. You guys, called Ghost Ship. Like I said, it is on Prime Video or AMC Plus, or you probably can find it on YouTube too, most likely. But yeah, next movie corner will be, again, as I said, if you made it to this part, and if you did, I appreciate you. will be Halloween 2018. I do know Halloween 2018 is on Hulu. Might be on Prime Video as well. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends is probably on Peacock. But I'll make sure to let you guys know when I do it. And it'll probably be up this week, most likely, because I want to do multiple. I told you that. I got to get consistent. But anyway, you guys enjoy your night, enjoy your day, enjoy your week, and I will see you later. Peace.